because it's going to be rim lit and not from the front, we're not going to see much information from the front side. So you could go with that. What it would end up looking like is mostly this and then very bright rim lights.
Yeah, I guess actually what I was thinking is like maybe I didn't want exactly that scenario, but similar, but a little bit more on the front face, like half of the front face lit.
Okay, so then let's dive into that. Okay, so this is a pretty good lighting scenario study because it really implies light from here, casting a shadow to that. Nice little Rembrandt triangle there, and then you're shifting the light over here. Okay, yeah. So I think you for yourself have to clarify specifically where the light is because I think it might be confusing to paint that way. But this looks like the light is coming from here, the main light, and then there's a rim light on each side, which is fine. Let's work with that. So as I squint, yeah, I agree. I think the value groups are the main problem. I guess when in doubt, this is where the wireframe would be really useful. And so let's just do a quick center line. Maybe something like this. And it can be low poly. It doesn't have to be super clean or specific. You might have to do another egg. And it's like from that egg, you would probably end up with something like lighting like that. Let's get a shadow, shift the value and the hue. Something like this for the egg. Maybe even introduce a cooler yellow down here. A bit of green in there or something. Anyway, so this becomes your new guide. So far, the cheeks are working really well because it's like, okay, well, it's implying that there's light over here and then shadow there. Light over here, shadow below it. That's fine. But over here, I think there would actually be a connective area of the light. And I would even just put light on this whole thing like that, and then clarify with the wireframe the sides of the nose. And it's just going to be a very subtle shift because it's just like cylindrical, and then another subtle thing. And it's like, we've done cylinders all day in this class, and it's going to have like that highlight in the middle and then shadow on this side. And that's really the same kind of information that's happening here and maybe on the tip. And then as you get down here, then yeah, you'd have probably a value group of shadow like this. And so now when we zoom out, it reads a bit clearer. And so if we turn off all this, it's really jumbled. It's not very clear. And now we've separated those. Let's turn off the wireframe and let that nose cast a bit of a shadow on the mouth area. And the chin is like a sphere, so you might as well treat it like a sphere or just a tiny egg. And so the top side is going to be lit like this. There will be a core shadow down to the dark side. And then you can cast a shadow onto it from the mouth. But the form should read like that first. Like this. And a little bit on the mouth. It's going to be a bit of that donut action. Let's go ahead and merge this a little bit. Blend it in. And even in the shadows, you don't have to clarify too much of the detail for the ideation. So I guess focus on the main read, make it work really well, and then move from there. Now, from here, I can turn it off to compare. So far, it's working much better, but I want a copy of it as a shadow version. So I just duplicated everything. It's going to use levels and bring it down and use a mask to actually make the form read the same way on the eyes. So right now they feel flat, like there's stickers on there. So I'm going to use that dark version of everything by painting a mask onto it. And I'm just going to lay it in like that. And then using the airbrush eraser, I'm just going to erase the top half so that it has that roundness feeling. So you see it's round now. We'll do the same thing over here and erase. So the eyes should feel round. And so if we turn it off, they flatten out, and now they feel round. Of course, we can lower the opacity a bit so it's not so obvious, but from there, you can add those specular highlights. The takeaway is, make sure the value groups, as you know, are accurate according to the lighting scenario that you establish more, I guess, with more clarification early on. And then, that leaves all this stuff into the dark shadow value group. And then the read will be much more simple. Questions?